The negotiation that the Biden administration is undertaking in Iran is fundamentally flawed. Senator Risch, Senator Cruz, and others have explained exactly why. It is absolutely fundamentally flawed. How do you negotiate with someone who is content to negotiate for as long as it takes for them to build a bomb while you're conducting the negotiation? This is structurally, fundamentally flawed. Not only are our negotiators not even at the table, they're negotiating with somebody who has no incentive to make a deal other than a deal that solely benefits them, that solely benefits Iran. Back in 2013, we passed Kirk-Menendez, biting sanctions. We passed a law that would allow the president, then President Obama, to put the severest sanctions in place on Iran so that they could not sell their oil. Once you put those sanctions in place with no exceptions, then you sit down and negotiate with Iran. And not from the kiddies table. You're in the room with them. Now when they're under pressure, when the pressure's on Iran, when they can't sell their oil, when their economy is falling apart and their people take to the streets and go after their leaders, when there's real pressure on them so they have an incentive to negotiate, that's when you negotiate. That's the structural criteria that you have to create to have some semblance, some chance of success. Compare that to the situation today. The Biden administration has again backed off the sanctions, taking the pressure off Iran, and then enters into a negotiation where Russia's leading the negotiation and our negotiators aren't in the room. What incentive does Iran have to get to any kind of reasonable negotiation? First, they can negotiate for as long as they want and just keep building the bomb, which is what they're doing. And if they ever get to an agreement, it's going to be a deal that they agree to because there's no pressure on them because the sanctions aren't in place. So if it's a good deal, they'll take it. Otherwise, they'll keep negotiating and building the bomb. That's what's going on. And then you add to it that this administration, instead of saying, hey, we're going to produce all the oil and gas we can, and oh, by the way, we have the best environmental standards in the world, we're going to produce all the oil and gas we can here to stop the inflation that's going on in this country and to help our allies. They go around to Iran and to Venezuela and to OPEC instead of saying we're going to produce it here. That's the wrong approach. And the people of this country know it's the wrong approach. And we need to continue to put the pressure on to change that approach and get the right kind of approach, to get the administration going the right direction, whether it's dealing with Iran, whether it's dealing with this, with the inflation challenge we have, whether it's producing more energy in this country, whether it's supporting the valiant people who are fighting in Ukraine.